Hey, it's Chronologically Gaming, the only channel that's perpetually retro because we're playing every video game in order of release. This is it, our chance to go back in time and rate the games based on everything else that's out there. Welcome to October 1982, we were last playing the Apple II. The Apple II, and this was Laser Silk. Laser Silk were spiders shooting lasers from our eyes. It was alright. Let's check out what our next game is. Coming up next, we're going to the arcade to play Marine Boy. I am not familiar with this one. This one I only found on 2 arcade databases. Everybody else, including Google, YouTube, they have no idea as far as games go. Twitch didn't know what Marine Boy was, and so we're going to find out what Marine Boy is. Let's take a look at the advertisement flyer. So the first one was the one in Japan. Not too much there. I love how Marine Boy has a beer belly, though. He's poking out a blowfish. And we're going to be capturing or picking up mermaids. Not like rescuing them. They're just power-ups, I guess. And then this is a fabricated arcade cabinet because there's not any pictures that I could find of the actual Marine Boy arcade cabinet. Here's the arcade PCB. And this is the controls. We got an 8-way joystick and we have an attack button. And that's it. Oh, I don't know. That's a good point, Chiptune. And there you go, Marine Boy. And then another made-up advertisement flyer. I'm pretty sure the first one was official. This one looks like someone just made up something for Marine Boy. With an example of the screenshot. And that's all we have. Let's go to the arcades and play Marine Boy. This is by Orca Corporation at some time in the beginning of October 1982. This marks the 4th game we've seen by the Orca Corporation after River Patrol in 1981, The Percussor also in 1981, and Funky Bee that we saw in July of 1982. All right, the attract mode looks very promising. This looks like we're going to be swimming underwater. Hey, the screen is scrolling, very nice. We're not stuck on the same fixed screen. It almost makes me think that we're slowly, ever slowly moving away from the golden age of arcade games. Everything was taking place on one screen, not anymore. All right, let's put a coin in and see what it's like. And push and start. Nice, it's got a jam. We dive down automatically, and no, I cannot go back up. It's only one way to go down. There's a mermaid. Oh, mermaid's where we get our score, so collect as many mermaids as possible. My attack's interesting. It's an 8-way joystick, and you can see I can use the attack, but it's more like a, is that a punching glove? You know what it looks like? It looks like the snatcher grabber that the Nintendo created. That's what it is. So this first arrived in Japan, and I'm not sure how worldwide this one was, if it wasn't as well known, but Japan for sure, because Orca, all the other releases were in Japan. But I mean, the attack it's really more like a punching glove that goes in and out, so there's not really a shot. You couldn't really call this a shooting game, but you just continue to scroll down, collect all the mermaids, get the power-ups. Yeah, you cannot go to the top of the screen, or you can't let the screen scroll back. So it's not auto-scrolling, so it's not really like Scramble, but vertical. This one is scrolling whenever I want it to scroll. But controls work all right. 8-way joystick works pretty good. Every time you kill an enemy, they turn into fried fish, and then we also have jellyfish to watch out for. What is that, octopus? Oh, nice. Okay, so we get to the end, and... oh, you do rescue a mermaid at the bottom. They're using oxygen as our time meter. Very nice. Yeah, graphics are very nice for the time. This one and the other ones by Orca have looked really good. Never seen or played this one before. And right now, this is the idea of where arcade games are going to go with the next era of arcade games. We're moving, we're scrolling the screen, we're going on an adventure, we're going to, you know, like rescue a mermaid. And we have to get to the end. I was kind of hoping, though, the second level would look different. One of the best draws of Scramble, Super Cobra, or the other scrolling games is that it goes level by level, so you can see something different. It's really nice. Alright, we're waiting for... there we go. Oxygen slowly goes down, and there's no way to go up. You have to dive deep. Oh, we got new enemy types. What is this? Okay, so that one just traps us. We don't really die. And then the jellyfish The orca looks devastating. And then we got some different enemies, too. There's a stingray. Maybe that's what it is, Chiptune. What makes the mermaid at the bottom so special if we're rescuing several mermaids on the way? There we go. Now this feels more like I'm playing a scrolling shoot-'em-up. Giving us obstacles to move through. Alright, now we have to wait until it opens. There we go. So I only did one playtest of this game, so it's very easy to pick up and play. Not really for the people that want to challenge in the arcade. But you could see, if you were in the arcade watching the other arcade cabinets, looking at the attract modes, this one would catch you. This one would draw you in if you want to play a couple quarters for it. And then we get a high score table. Nice. Wait, is that more characters than 3? Usually it's always the initials. Can I really put in more? And how much time do I have? And now I can put more initials in. I spell my name completely messed up. Crowroar. That'll work. Nice. I'm looking over the chat. I already see very different ratings. We have a 2.5, 3.5, 4 stars, 3 stars. Our 3-star rating is if you played all the arcade games up to this point, 3 would be pretty average or around the average range. And then I got a really generous one of 4 stars from Manly. Yes, I know there's not any violence. We're not killing anything. There's no blood. It's just rescuing a damsel in distress. Let's put another quarter in and get a little bit more. And go. I do want to see other levels to see how it changes up because it was giving me different obstacles to go through. Not too much, though. In my attack, I can push the button and then move around using the 8-way joystick so I can, like, direct the punching glove in different ways. So chat's looking around average for all the games you can play right now. The gameplay, yeah, is simple. It'd be average, but the way that it's presented is very nice. Orca's done a few games like the Funky Bee game. That one was essentially like a shoot-'em-up that we're going to be playing later on in the year. The top-down scrolling view where you can see the landscape but down below. Yeah, and they got the sound to go with it. Very, very nice. No, Chiptune, we don't know what Time Pilot is yet. We will be seeing it before the end of the year. I love the death animation, especially when it looks like he got nibbled on by, what are those, crabs? Oh, they're all fish. It looks like piranhas. And then that right there is the symbol of the Orca Corporation. We're going to see a few other companies do that where they hide in their logo into the gameplay. So dodging enemies, rescuing mermaids, get to the end, get your high score in, and have a blast. Yes, we can punch orcas in this. There you go. So that's Marine Boy in the arcades. It is still fun. Definitely not, I wouldn't say average. Of all the games you can play right now in the arcade, around the other games by Orca that we've seen were the River Patrol, Percussor, Funky Bee. River Patrol is the one that does scroll up, so you're actually coming on the top. Very similar to another arcade game we played called Swimmer. I still say this is around the average range. I'm going to go a notch above with a 3.5 star because it's fun to play. It's a little monotonous, just a little bit, but considering the other titles, there's other ones that you would have some more fun, a longer gameplay on, definitely. Yeah, there we go. I know we're going to see these horror flicks later, mainly. I love it. I know, and also the way that you can flip around underwater. When you go underwater, your time of the game or how long you can play is based on your oxygen, but you have no way of going up to the top. You cannot go up to get oxygen. It forces you to go down. It's almost like a horror game if you want to think of it that way. All right, so that's Marine Boy. Let's see where we're going now. Coming up next, it's the Apple II. This is Mask of the Sun. Let's check it out, starting with the box. That is very, very impressive for a home computer box art. Mask of the Sun, going to Mexico, and this would be another homage to Indiana Jones. While we played one other game called Raiders, this one is not technically like an Indiana Jones game, but you are playing as a treasure hunter. Love the front of the box. This is by Ultrasoft, the very first game we've seen by them. And it's going to be ported to other systems with another company, but this was the very first time you could play it on the Apple II. It calls it an animated adventure. Mask of the Sun is the premier release in a series of animated adventures from Ultrasoft. It has animation, and that's very, very rare to see for an adventure game. Phenomenal graphics, it says. Each picture is drawn with the Ultra Vision, Ultrasoft's exclusive graphics package. Some other adventure games we've seen have used Penguin's software graphics, and then a few other different ones that are allowing better high-resolution graphics for the still images. But we have seen some games that offer animation for graphic adventure games. Very little, though. And it has intelligent text interpretation, at least it says here. Oh, look at that. It even has the people that made the game. And then this is the 5 1/4 floppy disk. We're going to pop it in play with 2 different sides of the disc. No way, Errol, you remember this one? I have not played this one. This one was a new one for me. There's an example of that high-res graphic screenshot. This one marks our 382nd game we played for the Apple II. That's how many is out there. Let's take a look at the manual for The Mask of the Sun. You are Max Steele, archaeologist, adventurer, and treasure hunter. Look at all this text. That's what we're talking about. Give us some lore to play some adventure games. Graphic adventure games. It explains how to start the program up, whether you're playing on Apple or Atari or the Commodore. This one's the very first on the Apple II. And then it tells us how to converse with our computer. It gives us a few examples because we've had manuals explain what an adventure game is, thanks to Scott Adams. We've heard it over and over and over again. Now they just tell you, you have to talk to the computer. Here's how you do it. They explain what to type in and what not to type in. I love if you type in FurNap, the computer says, I don't understand FurNap. Nobody knows what FurNap means. Love it. You type in different things and examples. Do they have an example of all the different verbs you can use? There you go. Yeah, valid commands. That's what we need for these adventure games. Shows us the different directions we can type in, how to use our inventory, search for things, drop things, and then all the different multiple commands that you can use. So helpful with the manual. So not only are we going to get a real treat with graphics and animation and have a good adventure, it tells us what we can type in. And then we have some helpful hints too. I still feel like most of the adventure games, some of them were so cryptic that you needed to buy a manual or talk to the company to buy something, so maybe they can get some more money out of it. Yeah, there we go. We want some more lore. Now we just need some tic-tac-toe, chiptune, you bet. So we can also save the game and restore the game, and you'd be surprised how many adventure games do not allow that. And this is by Broderbund. Go, Broderbund, go. At least that manual was. So the very first one was Ultrasoft, and then later Broderbund is the one that publishes it. All right, so we have 2 different sides of the disc. Let's pop it and play The Mask of the Sun. This is Ultrasoft, later Broderbund, at sometime at the beginning of October 1982. Yes. Your search for Mask of the Sun has brought you to Mexico, the home of the Aztec culture, just like the front of the box. That's awesome. This one's our 81st graphic adventure game on the show. And by graphic adventure game, I mean a text adventure game that has pictures like this or anything involving any graphics. If it is only text, we call that a text adventure or interactive fiction only. All right, so hands up, keyboard only. Let's go. The plane you chartered in Mexico City has landed at a small airfield near the ruins of spoken of by Professor de Perez. Maybe I should be in Hispanic. I say, the ride was bumpy, but you made it. Looking out the door, we see a worn runway where 2 figures are waiting. Oh, and that's it. And now we can type in. All right, so here we go. Let's go ahead and get out. I don't recognize get out. Did I do an extra space? No, I don't recognize. And here we go. The challenges of text adventure games. All right, so let's try leave plane. You leave the plane and approach the 2 men. It worked. Whoa. No way. That was pretty cool. Now, usually with graphic adventure games, we played one other one by Crystalware, the Haunted Mansion, that allowed you to move from room to room. It was just a couple frames. It felt more like a flip book. But that was even better. That was awesome. You're standing on the airfield with Professor de Perez and his assistant. A dirt road leads north into the jungle. I brought you this map of 3 places that might contain the fabled mask. All the supplies are in the Jeep. This is great. So we're playing as an adventurer treasure hunter, kind of like Indiana Jones, as a text adventure or graphic adventure. My student Raul will accompany you. I'm sure you will find his knowledge of ancient languages very valuable. Nearby, we can see the Jeep and a cryptic map. Now, can we type more than 2 words? Let's see. Get cryptic map. Did it work? Yes, it does. So it understands more than the two-word text parser that we've seen with most other adventure games. All right, so after that, let's go ahead and get in Jeep. And we're in. The professor bids adios, amigos. As he walks toward the plane, Raul climbs into the Jeep next to you. The road north leads to the ruins, and these graphics are really, really nice. And are we going to drive? Wow, they're going to give us the slideshow to get there. We've already seen some animation like this with the adventure games that Sierra has done, just a little bit, but then we had some really good animation still on the Apple II. So the Apple II has been the computer for the really amazing, different graphic adventure games. You're at a branch. The road continues to the west, northwest, and southeast. Which way should we go, senor? That sounds like you're your buddy on Indiana Jones. All right, so there we go. Now what we're going to do next is, after we start traveling, let's go ahead and head west. Can we just type west, or we have to say go west? And it goes. I am floored. I know it feels like we're just watching a slideshow of images, but right now, this is big. Another title that we saw with those graphic adventure game was Sands of Egypt, and that one had a little animation here and there. Near the side of the road, you see a small hut. You hear music coming from inside, and we heard the music. This is awesome. The road continues east and west. The reason I'm so blown away is it's just so rare to see music in a graphic adventure game and animation in a graphic adventure game. A still image has been around that we've seen since 1980, but now we're getting games that I'm blown away that it's doing something different or better than Sierra or Infocom. Well, I guess Infocom isn't using graphics right now, but I'm expecting other titles to take this on. So I understand why Broderbund picked this up. This is awesome. I know, right? That's what it feels like, mainly. But we haven't seen that yet. We're going to see Dragon's Lair sometime in 1983. All right, so after we go west, let's leave Jeep. Get out of the Jeep. Will that work? It feels good to stretch the legs. That's awesome. Okay, so let's go hut. You approach the hut on foot. Is it going to animate the approaching the hut too? Okay, no, it didn't do that part. Now I feel like I'm being spoiled. Inside the hut, you see an old woman playing a flute. She pauses as you enter and looks up at you. Help an old woman who is poor and hungry. Kindness is always repaid by the gods. Oh, that's right. What time frame is this? I know we're in South America, Aztec, or no, Mexico, sorry, not North America, and Aztec, but what time frame? Like, are we 1930s? They didn't explain that in the manual, but we didn't really read all the lore of the manual. All right, so after we do that, all right, so let's go ahead and give some of our food. You don't see any tasty food around here. Oh, are we supposed to get... we have to go back to the hut. Okay, let's leave. It's in our Jeep. I'm supposed to get our supplies from the Jeep. We hear music coming from inside. Got it. Road continues east and west. Okay, so we see the Jeep. Can I look in the Jeep and see what supplies we have in there? In the Jeep, we see a shovel, lantern. Yeah, there we go. Tasty food and a length of rope. Okay, so let's get... food. Actually, let's get everything. Take all. Get all. Can we do that? Oh, there's nothing to get. Take all. No. Okay, look, Jeep. There. Now can we type everything? No, we can't. Oh, okay, darn. All right, so take... I gotta do one at a time. But the text parser was pretty good. I wonder if it would understand several things in a row. You know, take... Yeah, taken from the Jeep, and then we'll just leave those. We'll just take the food for now. So let's go hut. That'd be another approach, chiptune. Every now and then when I look over in the chat, I really love all the different things that show up, man. And of course, with adventure games, whenever you had friends playing this at home, you'd want people to tell you things because you never know what the game's going to understand. What will the computer really know? Can we headbutt the old lady? We don't know. Now that the text parsers are getting bigger, would it say woman or lady? Old woman, okay. Headbutt woman. I don't understand headbutt woman. Sorry, chiptune. Does not get that one. All right, let's go ahead and give food. In exchange for your kindness, please take this flute and maybe help you at some time. We have the flute. Remember, music soothes the savage beast. Oh my gosh, and she disappeared, and we saw her disappear. I'm freaking out because we don't really experience this on adventure games. The woman disappears, leaving you alone and mystified. Most of the time, for all adventure games, if someone says they're gone, they just flick in one screen, flick away. We should have tried that one too. Woman disappears, leaving you alone and mystified. All right, so let's go ahead and get out. We're going to use that later. We're near the hut. And let's go ahead and go Jeep. I guess that will help us get in the Jeep. Oh, no. Get in Jeep. There we go. All right, we're in the Jeep, and let's head west. Keep going west. We move off in that direction, and it's going to give us the slideshow. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, it's got to be Errol. I'm thinking that too. Is it a snake that we have to charm with this with the flute? We've already experienced that from, Sierra. You're at a branch. The road continues to the west, northwest, and east. Which way should we go, senor? All right, so after we go west, now this is where you'd be writing the map of where to go next. All right, let's go northwest. Does it understand NW? It does. And we're off. Man, that is so cool. All this, you really wouldn't need to draw this part of you just say, I went northwest, and then explain what the next part is. But the experience is a different experience. It's so cool. All right, so now near the road, we see a stone statue. Raul seems to recognize it. Is he going to say it's cursed? It's an idol of the Aztec wizard god, Texlocopita. And I'm mispronouncing that one. Professor De Perez has studied this cult extensively. Nearby, you see a carved stone head. All right, so there it is. It looks like a cat or a carved stone head on the ground. All right, so let's see. The head has been removed. All right, so do we have anything in the Jeep? Look, Jeep. Anything left? A shovel and length of rope. Okay, so let's try get shovel and get rope. Taken from the Jeep. So we got everything from the Jeep now. And then, let's see, inventory. Does INV work? Inventory. Does it show us what we have? Yeah, there we go. Holy cow, we had a lot more things besides what was in the Jeep. We have Raul. He's part of our inventory. Good to know. That means we probably could use him. And we have a shovel, lantern, box of matches, a knife, bottle of pills. Don't know what kind of pills it is. Cryptic map, ancient amulet, loaded revolver. We had a gun too. That's great. Length of rope and a flute. Nice. Yeah, Errol's already thrown out a 4-star rating of all the adventure games. And Errol, I am with you. This is excellent. This is a very, very good video game to play on a home computer. All right, so is that all we have for inventory? Okay, so we can do another thing with the text parser. We can say drop everything but pills. Does it understand that? Yeah. You set a bottle of pills into the Jeep. Wow, it worked. It really understood that. And the walkthrough I'm following explains that these are strength pills, so they're supposed to make us really, really strong. All right, so let's go ahead and leave the Jeep. It feels good to stretch my legs. So I'm out of the Jeep, and then now we can go look at the statue. Looking very closely, you notice an Aztec word carved into its chest. Raul translates it as Zotzl, which, again, I'm sure I'm mispronouncing. I know, right? If it's strength pills, maybe it is chiptune. I need to add that to the list of what this video game has on my spreadsheet that I have for all the games we've ever played. I try to be as specific as possible so that we can find games later. So maybe I should say we are... Can I use the pills? We're going to take drugs. Use the pills. You feel faint and need a pill, but don't have any. Wait, so the pills make us faint and we need another pill? That doesn't sound right. Uh-oh. You feel life draining away, blackness closing on you. You are dead. Okay, well, maybe I shouldn't have the pills. And ladies and gentlemen, this is what you usually see or whenever you play a lot of adventure games. You're going to be dying quite a bit. That was fun. That's the experience that I would expect. So there's a taste of the Mask of the Sun. That is fantastic. That's a really, really well-done adventure game. And from what I've seen for reviews online, considering that at the time, this impressed people too. Not just the graphics, but the gameplay. There is still a few cryptic puzzles that you'd have to decipher to get through this, but I still say of all the games to play right now on any home computer, this is 4 stars. I'm looking over the chat. I see another 4-star rating as well. Yeah, that means excellent, or a great game to play across all home computers. So cool. All right, so that's Mask of the Sun. Yeah, another 4-star as well. So great. All right, let's press forward and see our next game. Coming up next, we're going to the Commodore VIC-20, and this is Maze. Just Maze. This one marks our 283rd game we played on the Commodore VIC-20, and all I have for it is the ad you would have seen for the first version of this game. This first appeared on the Ohio Scientific back in the end of 1980, and it was called Minos. And so I love this ad because in 1980 they say, this one's hard to believe. The computer shows you a maze, and then you're in a rat's eye view of the level, and you get a full 3D graphics real enough to cause claustrophobia view when you play the game. And that's how they rated it when they called it Minos. There's an example of the screenshot on the Commodore VIC-20. Here it's just called Maze. Let's pop it and play Maze. This is by Bruce Robinson of Victory Software Corporation at sometime in the beginning of October 1982. Just Maze. All right, so it asks us how hard we want it to be. Let's just go with a level 2, shall we? This is Bruce Robinson's 7th game we played on the show, and Victory Software Corporation's 8th game we've seen. All right, so I'm in the game. It's a 3D maze game, believe it or not, and I can use the joystick. That's what's cool. Move left, move right, move forward. Yeah, look at that. Wow. So 3D maze control of the joystick's pretty nice. Can I go backwards? Okay, you can't shuffle backwards, but you can just do an about face. So I can turn completely around back where I was. So here I'm back at the beginning of the maze. And all you need to do is make your way through the maze to the other side. So if I reach the wall, I can do a quick about face, go back here. So joystick control is awesome. The majority of these we played have been keyboard only. But this one has no arcade style elements to it, no action elements to it. This one's simply the puzzle. Can you get out of the maze? So I broke these down into 2 different categories, the 3D mazes that are puzzle games and the 3D mazes that are, oh, it's the dead end. The 3D mazes that are action style games. This one falls into the latter. And at this point in the show, action, obviously we've been rating higher. They're pretty fun. We played 12 action 3D maze games, and this one is the 15th puzzle maze game that we played. All you got to do is get to the exit. There, we're out. Sweet. And there you go. Yeah, and this 3D maze concept has been around for a while. It's all the rage right now in 1982. About 17 total 3D maze style games we played. The best ones, though, are the action ones. 3D Monster Maze, Phantom Slayer, and then, of course, on the home console, the one we played, the Mind Master on the Atari VCS. So this one is kind of falling a little bit lower because it's just a puzzle game. Just get yourself out of the maze. We've seen this on the BBC Micro, the NASCOM. Amazing was what it was called on one of them was on the Coco. Captivity was another one that was on the Atari home computer. Labyrinth on the Acorn Atom. Escape was also here on the Commodore VIC-20. So I'm going to say of all the games you could play right now, it's lower tier than anything else, but the joystick control makes it really nice. So pretty slick. I wouldn't call this necessarily bad because this is still pretty popular, and because of how smooth it is, fast, I'm going to say 2.5 stars of all the games you could play right now on a home computer. If this was Minos, if we went back in time to 1980, I'd be rating this way higher than that. So looking over the chat, I see some 2 stars and then some 2.5 stars. So still subpar, you know, it's just simple puzzle, get yourself through the 3D maze, but still fun. I wouldn't call it bad. I still have a blast with it. All right, it's time to put the video game playing on pause. Or if we're in the arcade, we just ran out of quarters. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me here on the show. Down below, if you look in our link for all the games we've ever played, we also have added a few different elements so you can find something specific. Like, I want to find all the games that Chronologically Gaming has played that are 4-player simultaneous co-op games or something like that. So we now have broken it down even further to find the specific game that you're looking for. If we haven't played that game that you're thinking of, we will eventually. All right, next time on Chronologically Gaming, it's time to play video games like a surgeon. And that's it for today, and like I always say, the longer you stay alive, the higher your score will be. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel and joining me on my quest to play every single video game in order of release. We'll be streaming live every weekday at 9 p.m. Central, so join us and let us know if we missed any games along the way. This video would not be possible without Launchbox, RetroArch, and MAME. Tell all your friends there's some crazy guy named Chronologically Gaming trying to play every single video game. We have links down below that'll send you to places like our Discord and Patreon, and one that says all the video games we've ever played. If you go there, it's a list of everything, and you can click right to the game you want to see. Chronologically Gaming is the name to look for. We are Perpetually Retro, and we will catch you next time.